Hello, this is a selection of poems. The chapter is titled Footloose for Far Places. I've actually memorized this first one about 15 years ago. Wake, the silver dusk returning, up the beach of darkness brims, and the ship of sunrise burning strands upon the eastern rims. Up, lad, up! 'Tis late for lying. Hear the drums of morning play. Hark, the empty highways crying, who will beyond the hills away? Towns and countries woo together. Foreland's beacon, Belfry's call. Never lad that trod on leather lived to feast his heart with all. Up, lad, up! 'Tis late for lying. Hear the drums of morning play. Hark the empty highways crying, who beyond the hills away? Clay lies still, but blood's a rover, breasts aware that will not keep. Up, lad, up! When the journey's over, then there'll be time enough to sleep. Reveille by A.E. Housman. Now for the ones I haven't memorized. Give to me the life I love, let the lave go by me. Give the jolly heaven above, and the byway nigh me. Bed in the bush with stars to see, bread to dip in the river. There's the life for a man like me, there's the life forever. Let the blow fall, soon or late. Let will be o'er me, give the face of earth around, and the road before me. Wealth I seek not, hope nor love, nor a friend to know me. All I seek the heaven above, and the road below me. Or let autumn fall on me, where afield I linger, silencing the bird on tree, biting the blue finger. White is meal the frosty field, warm the fireside haven. Not to autumn will I yield, nor to winter even. Let the blow fall soon or late, let will be o'er me, give the face of earth around, and the road before me. Wealth I ask not, hope nor love, nor a friend to know me. All I ask, the heaven above, and the road below me. The Vagabond by Robert Louis Stevenson. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick, and the wind's song, and the white sails shaking, and a grey mist on the sea's face, and a grey dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again. The call of the running tide is a wild call, and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying, and the flung spray and the blown spume, and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trick's over. Seafield by John Masefield. Sea Fever by John Masefield. She's running up for Callao in the blue Pacific weather. She's running free for Callao on a clean and even keel, with the ripples chucking round her run and a dainty little feather of foam beneath her figurehead and a ribbon at her heel. So Tina, snap your castanets, Tina, Tina, and Tina, tune your old guitar and sing your gayest ditty, for a clipper's bound for Callao, Callao, Callao. With the reefer boy that loves you so, Tina, my pretty. She's rippling on for Callao, the croon of sapphire water. She's bowling on for Callao, with kites and stunsails spread, the wail of seabirds in her tracks, and her porpoise to escort her. The Cordilleras, snows a-shine like pearly clouds ahead. So Tina, pick your reddest rose, Tina, Tina. And Tina, wear your brightest shawl to catch a sailor's money. Her clippers bound for Callao. With the reefer boy who loves you so, Tina, my honey. Either Callao or Callao by Crosby Garstein. I should probably have looked that up, how it's pronounced, before I said the poem. I will make you brooches and toys for your delight, of bird song at morning and starshine at night. I will make a palace fit for you and me, of green days in forest and blue days at sea. I will make my kitchen, and you shall keep your room, where white flows the river and bright blows the broom. And you shall wash your linen and keep your body white, and rain fall at morning and dew fall at night. And this shall be for music when no one else is near, the fine song for singing, the rare song to hear, that only I remember, that only you admire, of the broad road that stretches and the roadside fire. Romance by Robert Louis Stevenson. As I came down to the long street by the water, the sea ships dipped their masts like ladies bowing, curtsying friendly in a manner olden, shrouds and sails in silken sunlight flowing, gleaming and shimmering from silvery into golden, with the sea winds through the sunlit spaces blowing. As I came down to South Street by glimmering, tossing water, the sweet wind blew, oh softly, sweetly blew. O'er the lean black docks piled high with curious bales, odorous casks and bundles of foreign goods, and all the long ships with their fair tall sails, lading the winy air with the spice of alien woods. As I came down by the winding streets, the wondrous green sea water, the sounds along the waterfront were tuned to fine accord. I heard the racket of the halyards slapping, along the bare poles stabbing up aloft. I saw loose men, their garments ever flapping, lounging a row along each wooden stair. Their untamed faces in the golden sun were soft, but their hard, bright eyes were wild, and in the sun's soft flare nothing they saw but sounding seas and the crush of the ravening wind. Nothing but furious struggle with toil that never would end. The call of mine ancient sea was clamoring through their blood. Ah, they all felt that call, but nothing they understood. As I came down with the winding sheets to South Street by the water. As I came down to South Street by the soft sea water, I saw long ships, their mastheads ever blowing, sweet, slender maids in clinging cloud gowns of golden, curtsying stately in a fashion olden, bowing sweetly, each a king's fair daughter. To me, their millionth lover, I, the seventh son of the old sea rover, as I came down to South Street by the myriad moving water. South Street by Francis E. Falconbury. Queen Kareem of Nineveh from distant Ophir, rowing home to haven in sunny Palestine, with a cargo of ivory and apes and peacocks, sandalwood, cedarwood, and sweet white wine. Stately Spanish galleon coming from the isthmus, dipping through the tropics by the palm green shores with a cargo of diamonds, emeralds, amethysts, topazes and cinnamon and gold moidores. Dirty British coaster with a salt-caked smokestack, butting through the channel in the mad March days with a cargo of Tyne coal, road rails, pig lead, firewood, ironware, and cheap tin trays. Cargoes by John Masefield. I have seen old ships sail like swans asleep, beyond the village which men still call Tyre, with leaden age o'er cargo dipping deep, for Famagusta and the hidden sun that rings black Cyprus with a lake of fire. And all those ships were certainly so old, who knows how oft with squat and noisy gun, questing brown slaves or Syrian oranges, the pirates Genoese, hell raked them till they rolled blood, water, fruit, and corpses up the hold. But now through friendly seas they softly run, painted the mid-sea blue or shore sea green, still patterned with the vine and grapes in gold. But I have seen, pointing her shapely shadows from the dawn, an image tumbled on a rose-swept bay, a drowsy ship of some yet older day. And, wonder's breath indrawn, thought I, who knows? Who knows, but in that same, fished up beyond Aeneas, patched up new, stern-painted, brighter blue, that talkative, bald-headed seaman came, 12 patient comrades sweating at the oar, from Troy's doom-crimson shore, and with great lies about his wooden horse, set the crew laughing and forgot his curse and course. It was so old a ship, who knows? Who knows? And yet so beautiful I watched in vain to see the mast burst open with a rose, and the whole deck put on its leaves again. The Old Ships by James Elroy Flecker. I never loved your plains, your gentle valleys, your drowsy country lanes and pleached alleys. I want my hills, the trail that scorns the hollow, up the ragged shale where few will follow. Up over wooded crest and mossy boulder with strong thigh, heaving chest, and swinging shoulder. So, let me hold my way by nothing halted, until at close of day I stand exalted, high on my hills of dream, dear hills that know me. And then how fair will seem the lands below me. How pure at vesper time the far bells chiming. God, give me hills to climb and strength for climbing. Hills by Arthur Guitarman. A wind's in the heart of me, a fire's in my heels. I am tired of brick and stone and rumbling wagon wheels. I hunger for the sea's edge, the limits of the land, where the wild old Atlantic is shouting on the sand. Oh, I'll be going, leaving the noises of the street to where a lifting foresail foot is yanking at the sheet, to a windy, tossing anchorage where yawls and ketches ride. I'll be going until I meet the tide. And first I'll hear the sea wind, the mewing of the gulls, the clucking, sucking of the sea about the rusty hulls, the songs at the capstan and the hooker warping out, and then the heart of me will know I'm there or thereabout. Oh, I am tired of brick and stone, the heart of me is sick for windy green, unquiet sea, the realm of Moby Dick. And I'll be going from the roaring of the wheels, for the wind's in the heart of me, a fire's in my heels. A Wanderer's Song by John Masefield. When I am standing on a mountain crest, or hold the tiller in the dashing spray, my love of you leaps foaming in my breast, shouts with the wind and sweeps to their foray. My heart bounds the horses of the sea, and plunges in the wild ride of the night, flaunts in the teeth of tempest the large glee that rides out fate and welcomes gods to fight. Oh, love, I laugh aloud for love of you, glad that our love is fellow to rough weather. No fretful orchard hot-housed from the dew, but hale and hardy as the highland heather, rejoicing in the wind that stings and thrills, comrade of ocean, playmate of the hills. Love of the Winds by Richard Hooby. Within my hand I hold a piece of lynch spotted stone, each fleck red gold. And with closed eyes I hear the moan of solemn winds round naked crags of Colorado's mountains. The snow lies deep about me, grey and old hags of cedar, gaunt and bare, with streaming tangled hair, snarl endlessly. White-winged and proud, with stately step and queenly air, a glittering, cool and silent cloud upon me sails, the wind wails, and from the cannon, stern and steep, I hear the furious waters leap. Magic by Hamlin Garland. The white moth to the closing vine, the bee to the opening clover, and the gypsy blood to the gypsy blood, ever the wide world over. Ever the wide world over, lass, ever the trail held true, over the world and under the world, and back at last to you. Out of the dark the Giorgio camp, out of the grime and the grey, morning waits at the end of the world, gypsy, come away. The wild boar to the sun-dried swamp, the red crane to her reed, and the Romany lass to the Romany lad, by the tie of a roaming breed. The pied snake to the rifted rock, the buck to the stony plain, and the Romany lass to the Romany lad, and both to the road again. Both to the road again, out in clean sea track, follow the cross of the gypsy trail, over the world and back. Follow the Romany Pataran, north where the bluebirds sail, the bows are grey with the frozen spray, and the masts are shod with mail. Follow the Romany Pataran, sheer to the astral light, where the bosom of God is in the wild south wind, sweeping the sea floors white. Follow the Romany Pataran west to the sinking sun, till the junk sails lift through the houseless drift, and the east and the west are one. Follow the Romany Pataran east where the silence broods, by a purple wave on an opal beach in the hush of the Mahim woods. The wild hawk to the wind-swept sky, the deer to the wholesome world, and the heart of a man to the heart of a maid, as it was in the days of old. The heart of a man to the heart of a maid, light of my tents be fleet. Morning waits at the end of the world, and the world is all at our feet. The Gypsy Trail by Rudyard Kipling. Come, try your skill, kind gentlemen, a penny for 3 tries. Some threw and lost, some threw and won, a 10 a penny prize. She was a tawny gypsy girl, a girl of 20 years. I liked her for the lumps of gold that jingled from her ears. I liked the flaring yellow scarf bound loose about her throat. I liked her showy purple gown and flashy velvet coat. A man came up too loose of tongue and said no good to her. She did not blush as Saxons do or turn upon the cur. She fawned and whined, sweet gentleman, a penny for 3 tries. But oh, the den of wild things in the darkness of her eyes. The Gypsy Girl by Ralph Hodgson. Indian-footed move the mists from the corner of the lake, silent, sinuous, and bent, and their trailing feathers shake, tremble to forgotten leapings, while with lingerings and creepings, down they lean again to slake the dead thirst of parching mouths, lean their pale mouths in the lake. Indian-footed move the mists that were hiding in the pine, but upon the oval lake in a bent and ghastly line, lean and drink for better sleeping. Then they turn again and, creeping, gliding as with fur and fins, disappear through woods and water on 1,000 moccasins. Ghosts of Indians by Widder-Binner. His seat was by a window, so he dreamed. How could he study while the sunlight gleamed? In small, sweet shapes, like wild things, tame enough to dart to him and touch his hands for love. Well, there were profiles carved in every cloud, to mark as grim or ludicrous or proud, and agile shadowings to writhe and crawl, like ghostly spiders up and down the wall. He could not help but turn their way to look. His eyes, that would not follow down his book the muddy trudgings of deliberate words, reflected blue and silver flights of birds. You would not think there was so much to trace of wonderment on just a window space. But once, when a frail scrap of paper moon enchanted him from 10 o'clock till noon, they moved him to the middle of the room. He learned his lesson then for very gloom, until came glowing to a nearby chair a little girl with sunset in her hair. His soul recolored, the forlorn dreams came to warm themselves once more at this new flame. He pushed aside the dusty Greek. He had a different way to read the Iliad. While through cold ashes others groped to learn, he lit the towers of Troy and saw them burn. School by Winifred Wells, one of my favorite poems. My shoes fall on the housetop that is so far beneath me. I have hung my hat forever on the sharp church spire. Now what shall seem the hill but a moment of surmounting, the height but a place to dream of something higher? Wings? Oh, not for me. I need no other pinions than the beating of my heart within my breast. Wings are for the dreamer with a bird-like longing, whose dreams come home at eventide to rest. The timid folk beseech me, the wise ones warn me. They say that I shall never grow to stand so high. But I climb among the hills of cloud and follow vanished lightning. I shall stand knee-deep in thunder with my head against the sky. tiptoe at last upon a pinnacle of sunset, I shall greet the death-like evening with laughter from afar, nor tremble in the darkness, nor shun the windy midnight, for by the evening I shall be a star. Climb by Winifred Wells. Because our lives are cowardly and sly, because we do not dare to take or give, because we scowl and pass each other by, we do not live. We do not dare to live. We dive, each man, into his secret house, and bolt the door, and listen in affright, each timid man beside a timid spouse, with timid children huddled out of sight. Kissing in secret, fighting secretly, we crawl and hide like vermin in a hole. Under the bravery of sun and sky, we flash our meanness of face and soul. Let us go out and walk upon the road, and quit for evermore the brick-built den, and lock and key the hidden shy abode that separates us from our fellow men. And by contagion of the sun, we may catch at a spark from that primeval fire, and learn that we are better than our clay and equal to the peaks of our desire. The Road by James Stephens. Beneath the train the miles are folded by. High and still higher through the vibrant air we mount and climb. Silence and brazen glare, desert and sagebrush, cactus, alkali, tiny, low-growing flowers, brilliant, dry. A vanishing coyote, lean and spare, lopes slowly homeward with a backward stare. To jigsaw hills cut sharp against the sky, in the hard turquoise rides a copper sun. Old hope comes, thronging with an urge, a zest. Beside the window, gliding wires run, binding two oceans, argosy and quest. Oh, the dreams remembered to be dreamed and done. It is young air we breathe. This is the West. El Pontiente by Ruth Comfort Mitchell. The weather leech of the topsail shivers. The bowlines strain and the lee shrouds slacken. The braces are taut, the lithe boom quivers, and the waves with the coming squall cloud blacken. Open one point on the weather bow is the lighthouse, tall and Fire Island head. There's a shade of doubt on the captain's brow, and the pilot watches the heaving lead. I stand at the wheel, and with eager eye, to sea and to sky and to shore I gaze, till the muttered order of full and by is suddenly changed for full for stays. The ship bends lower before the breeze, as her broadside fair to the blast she lays, and she swifter springs to the rising seas, as the pilot calls, "Stand by for stays." It is silence all, as each in his place, with a gathered coil in his hardened hands, by tack and bowline, by sheet and brace, waiting the watchword impatient stands. And the light on Firehead Island draws near, as, trumpet-winged, the pilots shout from his post on the bowsprit's heel, I hear with the welcome call of ready, about. No time to spare, it is touch and go, and the captain growls, down helm, hard below. As my weight in the whirling spokes I throw, while heaven grows black with the storm clouds' frown. High o'er the night heads flies the spray, as we meet the shock of the plunging sea, and my shoulder stiff to the wheel I lay, as I answer, aye, aye, sir, hard a-lee. With the swerving leap of a startled steed, the ship flies fast in the eye of the wind. The dangerous shoals in the lee recede, and the headland white we have left behind. The topsails flutter, the jibs collapse, and belly and tug at the groaning cleats. The spanker slats, and the mainsail flaps, and thunders the order, tacks and sheets. Mid the rattle of blocks and the tramp of the crew, hisses the rain of the rushing squall. The sails are aback from clew to clew, and now is the moment for mainsail haul. In the heavy yard, like a baby's toy, by 50 strong arms are swiftly swung. She holds her way, and I look with joy, the first white spray over the bulwarks flung. Let go and haul. 'Tis the last command, and the headsails fill to the blast once more. Astern and to leeward lies the land, with its breakers white on the shingly shore. What matters the reef or the rain or the squall? I steady the helm for the open sea. The first mate clambers, belay there, all, and the captain's breath once more comes free. And so off shore that the good ship fly, little care I how the gusts may blow, in my forecastle bunk in a jacket dry, 8 bells have struck, and my watch is below. Tacking Ship Off Shore by Walter Mitchell. All day she sits behind a bright brass rail, planning proud journeyings in terms that bring far places near. High-coloured words that sing the Taj Mahal at Agra, Kashmir's veil, spanning wide spaces with her clear detail, Sevilla or Fiesole in spring, through the fjords in June. Her words take wing, she is the minstrel of the great out trail. At 5:30, she puts her maps away, pins on a grey, meek hat, and braves the sleet, a timid eye on traffic. Dully grey, the house that harbours her in a grey street, the close, sequestered, colourless retreat, where she was born, and where she will always stay. The Travel Bureau by Ruth Comfort Mitchell. The rosy egret, sunset, wings up the moss-grey skies, and creeping under clouds, the dusk, a burning beetle, dies. Round cypress, oak, and willow, a raucous music cries, and from the water, dark beneath, the mist, white shadows rise, and glimmering down the bayou, with starlight twinkling eyes, the twilight oars her blue canoe, pale proud with fireflies. Her owlet call the darkness, utters in vague surmise, Then, with a sibilant voice afar, the bayou hush replies. Now night the cricket hinges of her old doorway tries, and stealing through the house of dreams, sleep to the silence sighs. Wide to the dark one window she flings, and from it flies a moth, the round, white, wondering moon, whose ghostly image lies along the bayou's bosom, in a strangely shimmering wise, a phantom bark with a phantom maid, who a phantom paddle plies. The Old Bayou by Madison Coween. I don't say that word often enough. It stood at bay in its own dark sea, and gnashed its jagged rocks at me. Over it thunders lurked in their wrack, lightning and windy waves drew back. It wore its hills with a tribal pride, Corsica cowered at its side. A brigand island with brawny hips, scowling at sea and sky and ships. But its purple wallets were filled, I knew, with potent grapes for a potent brew, with olive and myrtle and roses too. Sardinia from a Liner by Lenora Sapere. What I love best in all the world is a castle, precipice encurled, and a gash of the wind-grieved Apennine, or look for me, old fellow of mine, if I get my head from out the mouth of the grave, and loosen my spirit's bands, and come again to the land of lands, in a seaside house to the farther south, where the baked cicala dies of drouth, and one sharp tree, 'tis a cypress, stands, by the many hundred years red-rusted, rough iron spikes, roop fright o'ercrusted, my sentinel to guard the sands to the water's edge. For what expands before the house, the great opaque blue breadth of the sea without a break? Well, in the house forever crumbles some fragment of the frescoed walls, from blisters where a scorpion sprawls. A girl, barefooted, brings and tumbles down on the pavement green flesh melons, and says there's news today. The king was shot at, touched in the liver wing, goes with his Bourbon arm in a sling. She hopes they have not caught the felons. Italy, my Italy, Queen Mary's saying serves for me, when fortune's malice lost her Calais. Open my heart, and you will see, graved in sight of it, Italy. Such lovers old are I and she, so it always was, so shall ever be. A piece from De Gustibus by Robert Browning. The old houses of Flanders, they watch by the high cathedrals. They overtop the high town halls. They have eyes, mournful, tolerant, and sardonic for the ways of men in the high, white, tiled gables. The rain and the night have settled down on Flanders. It is all wet darkness. You can see nothing. Then those old eyes, mournful, tolerant, and sardonic, look at the great sudden red lights. Look upon the shades of the cathedrals and the golden rods of the illuminated rain for a second. And these old eyes, very old eyes that have watched the ways of men for generations, close forever. The high, white shoulders of the gables slouch together for a consultation, slant drunkenly over in the lee of the flaming cathedrals. They are no more the old houses of Flanders. Appropriately titled, The Old Houses of Flanders by Ford Madox Ford. You mellow minstrel of a town, so suave and weather-warmed and brown, so red and blue and unafraid of colours Titian might have made. Carmine and cobalt scarce belong in sterny staves of German song, which, as you sing, you dare bedeck with cadence tints of peacock's neck. You make and sing as you have done through centuries of shade and sun, a naive music that beguiles, of porcelain spires and peach-bloom tiles. And at your brownest you reveal a message exquisitely real. Dark topaz eaves of some old inn, or house front like a violin. Was amber most your mood when he, the master, marked your minstrelsy? Or did you dream in azure smoke, and hide your colours 'neath a cloak? Had your least tower been less fair, less like a voice across the air, or any dome less gold and blue, would he have stayed for love of you? To him whom you enthralled so long, you were the singer and the song. Within your street the tawny tone of ancient houses, most your own, was like an aria he heard, bold rhythm mated to proud word, and balcony or carven door struck chords he may have missed before. Can you recall what undertones of mirth along your cobblestones allured him, or what far-flung spells from lanes of legendary bells? Somehow your beauty let him hear forgotten voices singing clear. Somehow you made your meaning plain, that her hand's socks might live again. The master long ago has gone, but like his music you sing on. And colours clear and magical, emerald, coral, cardinal. I pray you, guard your antique grace, the fountain in your marketplace, your doves, your bells, and belfries too, and that brown amber smile of you. Old Nuremberg by Grace Hazard Conkling. Lean and tall and stringy are the Navajo, workers in silver and turquoise, herders of flocks. Their sheep and goats cover the hills like scattered rocks. They wear velvet shirts. They are proud. They go through the sage, upright on thin, bright horses. Their speech is low. At their necks they gather the black, smooth cataract of their locks. Quick are their eyes and bright as the eyes of a fox. You may pass by their encampments and never know. There is an eagle screaming from a roof, and Walpy, a black eagle with pale eyes. The kitchen smoke morning and evening rises in pale columns about him. At noon the heat beats down upon his head and lies like fire on his shoulders. He never sees the Indians below him. His captors, all day, his look goes out across the striped reds of the painted desert. All day he looks far off to cloud-hung mesas. All day he screams. As the racing circle closed in like a lasso of running dogs and horses, as the sage was swept out of the turmoil, suddenly upward leapt a jackrabbit's fawn and jet, with its great soft eye and fantastic ears outlined against the sky, hanging in life a strange moment, then falling back from that remote, beautiful leap to the teeth of the pack, and the trampling hoofs, and the Indian's thin halloo. The Painted Desert by Elizabeth J. Coatsworth. They have watered the street. It shines in the glare of lamps, cold, white lamps, and lies like a slow-moving river, barred with silver and black. Cabs go down it, one, and then another. Between them I hear the shuffling of feet. Tramps doze on the window ledges. Night walkers pass along the sidewalks. The city is squalid and sinister, with a silver-barred street in the midst, slow-moving, a river leading nowhere. Opposite my window, the moon cuts, clear and round, through the plum-colored night. She cannot light this city. It is too bright. It is white lamps and glitters coldly. I stand in the window and watch the moon. She is thin and lusterless. But I love her. I know the moon, and this is an alien city. A London Thoroughfare, 2 a.m. by Amy Lowell. Oh, heavenly color! London town has blurred it from her skies, and, hooded in an earthly brown, unheavened the city lies. No longer standard-like this hue, above the broad road flies, nor does the narrow street the blue wear, slender pennon-wise. But when the gold and silver lamps color the London dew, and, misted by the winter damps, the shops shine bright anew, blue comes to earth, it walks the street, it dyes the wide air through, a mimic sky about their feet, the throng grow crowned with blue. November Blue by Alice Meynell. Dear to RLS, remodeled for the fishing trade of the Pacific coast. Has he forsaken heaven, quite, where is no sail nor any sea, and for the sake of lost delight, evaded immortality? To feel the wind that sets you free, and tempt you to a wide blue flight, where any trailing dawn may be deep fringed with breakers bursting white. Would he exchange all paradise for islands arabesqued with morn? In your slim shape the magic lies, and to such honor were you born. For him shall peace grow less forlorn, who has the sea light in his eyes, and hears Orion's hunting horn cry challenged down the blazing skies. Now men forget what dawns you knew, what painted sunsets flaring far, for these calm coasts they destine you, nor think whose silver ship you are. O leaping bow, and thrilling spar, and canvas bright against the blue, your skipper steers you for a star. Obey him as you used to do. So shall you tread again the floor, uncharted you were wont to roam, and flee in ecstasy before the squalls that failed drive you home. Shall hear his laughter as of yore, and the cloud breaks, the green waves comb, and make his spirit glad once more with flagons of enchanted foam. But when the ocean's azure swoon glasses some isle of memories, still thither softly, to maroon your wilful master if he please. Slip in by night behind the trees of its star-paven deep lagoon, and drift across the Pleiades to anchor in the floating moon. The Schoner Casco by Grace Hazard Conkling. And lastly, under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad that I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter, home from the hill. Requiem by Robert Louis Stevenson. So that's Footloose for Far Places. Really makes me want to go sailing. Or learn how to sail, at least.